G'day and welcome to Aussie Vision. I'm Dale.
G'day, I'm Mike.
And we're with members of the Aussie Vision team today. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
everyone.
We're going to be talking about who we think is going to get through the second semi-final if Eurovision was going to take place. So obviously this is a bit of a, we know it's not going to happen, but if it was going to go ahead, who do we think would have actually got through? Now, we're going to start with some pretty, hopefully, obvious ones that we think will get through, but we'll see if anyone disagrees. Yeah. So I'm saying, or let's see if we disagree or not, Bulgaria, Iceland, Switzerland, they're through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They are through. I didn't think Bulgaria was obvious. I think they'd get through, but I don't think they were a sure thing. That's okay. But the other two definitely, absolutely, for sure.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, well, we're going to go on to the next one, which I'm feeling pretty confident about. Serbia. Does anyone have that as a qualifier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that I had written down third. Yeah.
Consensus across the board. Any concerns about Serbia at all? I'm a little bit worried, like if that vocal gets a bit ropey, but I think it'd have enough going on.
I think the vocal would be fine. I believe in the final for the national final, two of them had a cold, so they were under the weather. But we know they can sing.
I heard that excuse before. Jane, you were going to say something, weren't you?
Yeah, look, I mean, getting sick while you're in that week is a really hard thing. And like we saw that with Jessica Malboy in 2018. So if they were to get sick, I'm sure their performance would have suffered. But I genuinely think that they sailed through easy.
Yeah,
they're the only pop girl group in that semi. They've got no competition that's similar. Like they're fine.
No. The only competition they have is San Marino. Probably be the closest song to it, but that's dead in the water. Let's be honest. So yeah, they're in.
All right.
I would have said Armenia, but there's only one of her, and there's three of them, so I reckon they have three times the chance.
I think it's more.
There's quite a few up-tempo bangers there. Now, we'll agree on it, so we should probably move on and go to the ones we might disagree on. Latvia, any thoughts on Latvia? Does anyone think they won't qualify or have a question mark about it?
I had a question mark about it. Yeah.
All right, Laura, you go, and then let's hear Michael.
Oh, it's going to be really tough. I reckon if she gets through, she'll just scrape through, and if she misses out, she'll just miss out. I think there's going to be a bit of a like telemovage sort of effect about it. That is like, it's very loud, it's very wacky. There's a chance that people who only tune into the contest once a year won't quite know what's going on there and won't connect with it as much. I really, really want her to qualify, but that is my concern.
I'm along the same lines. I just think it's very polarising, and I don't know if it had enough jury score or would have had enough jury score to really underpin a qualification. I think it was very, very borderline. It is one you love or one you just go, turn it off now.
Ruby, what do you think about it?
I really think it was going to sail through. Like the whole performance that she'd done all the way through was very standardized, and like it was so consistent that I can't imagine her dropping off at any point, and the momentum would have just kept building for it silently, but like it would have continued staying there. And I really think she would have just sailed through that semi-final.
Fair enough. Any other question marks, or did anyone have her like as well as Ruby getting straight through?
I did, yeah, because it's a different song. You're going to take notice of it. I think she would have got through. Nothing else sounds like that. That would have been the kitsch factor for this semi, I think.
I have a question mark. I think she's got a great vocal, but again, I agree with what Laura and Mike said to a point. Like it could be really off-putting, but it's also so eye-catching in a way that it might get something. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I didn't have it down as a definite. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Liv, what about you?
I just think, there's too many other quirky things in here that are going to grab the top tier televote. And then as far as jury vocals go, it sits in that part of female range that's actually quite easy to just kind of like really punch it. So I actually
don't think the juries were going to be like, oh, wow. So I'm just thinking that she would have had an average televote, average jury, and scratch through.
Scratch.
Yeah.
All right, jury's out on Latvia, it seems. What about Denmark? I kind of feel like Denmark, I think, was a bit of a sure thing.
I had that as a definite. They were definite for me, for sure. Nothing else sounds like it. It's different. It's not crazy. It's not quirky. It is. It's Denmark. You know, you're going to get your generic song that everyone likes. If Leonora could get through and come 12th, better than 10 are definitely in. They're top 10. I'm sorry.
All right, Jade, what do you think about Denmark?
Yeah, I think that this was a sure qualifier. Whether I liked it or not doesn't matter. But it is definitely very radio friendly. I can't imagine like this not like topping charts all over Europe. It's sort of like is very reminiscent of Shepherd almost. Like they really have that vibe. And yeah, I absolutely think it would have coasted through.
Any question marks from anyone? No, we're solid on Denmark. Yeah. They're just solid. It's fine. All right, let's get into the other ones now. Austria. Michael, my favourite. I know you hate this song. We've got qualified.
To be honest, it's got a point of difference in this semi-final. I think it had something. For me, it would have all been about the live performance. This could have looked like a high school thing, or it could have actually really elevated. So I think it probably might have snuck through, but I still have my doubts about the whole thing.
Anyone else think it would have got through, or any question marks?
Yeah, I think it would have gotten through.
How come, Laura?
Basically, I think not necessarily on the back of the public vote. I reckon it's something that the juries would listen to and think, yes, this is a good song. If the live performance has got a very radio-friendly sort of appeal, I just don't see it connecting with the public though, just because, well, again, it could change with the live performance, but upon listening to the studio, I didn't quite feel what he was singing about. I don't think he was connecting.
Fair enough. Jade, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I had this one as a borderline one as well. I wasn't sure whether to include it or whether to not. It was sitting around that 12 to 8 mark. There was about 4 I wasn't sure about. And this one I ultimately decided not to push through because I agree with Mike, because it would have been a little bit too high school. Maybe it wouldn't have been as polished as it could have been, and it absolutely would have depended on the staging.
Okay. So who has a thumbs up of this getting through? I've got a thumbs up for getting through, or yes. Oh, Ruby's a down. And
I'm a down.
All right, Ruby, I need to hear from Liv. I love it.
I mean, it'd probably be the shock qualifier for me, and I really like listening to it. Every time it comes on, I have a little jam. It's great, but I don't see it as a Eurovision qualifier. It's just not that category quite yet, and I'm very hopeful that if it did go, it would have been elevated by the staging and I would have really appreciated it then, but no.
Fair enough.
Not quite
Liv,
now.
Liv, what about you?
It's just where's your moment where you actually remember it and want to do anything with it? It's like a 13th, 14th place, honestly, in a semi-final. It's just, it's there.
Look, I hate the song. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's a nice little funky bop, and I don't think there's anything else. I mean, there's Czech Republic in here, I'll say.
Yeah.
It's done really well on the things like Euro jury, and I actually think there was some jury love here for some reason, and I don't think there was a lot of televote. So I kind of agree to a point, but I think it was through. That's my take. All right, well, okay, we've mixed feelings there. Talking of which, Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Let's start straight away. I want to have a thumbs up and the thumbs down again. Who's saying yes, it's in? I'm saying down.
Oh,
I'm putting both my thumbs up.
All right, well, let's start with okay, we got a double thumbs up from Laura. Let's go with you, Laura. Why is it going to qualify?
Look, I just think it's something new and refreshing and different that we haven't seen at Eurovision in a very long time. Not since the start of the 2010s with Ale Ola Ole. Very Afrobeat, fun summer bop. You can hear it topping the charts in all of Europe. And I think it just has that other element that I think casual viewers will really pick up on. And I think juries can respect it as well. Provided that Benny Al's performance, I reckon it's in.
Yeah, fair enough. Liv, what about you?
I think it would scrape through. Probably where I had Austria and Czech Republic were, you know, interchangeable in that like 10th place spot kind of. And then it would be the kind of one that would get to the final and then get completely buried and finish like 25th. But look, probably going off Czech Republic's recent success and that they seem to have a bit of a trend going, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll pull together something interesting.
I'm going to go to you, Mike. You love the song, but you're saying no.
Yeah, I love it. I just don't know about a jury score again to underpin a qualification type of thing for this one. It is a little bit not Eurovision, which is terrible, but it's not. And I mean, it would be a risk, I think, for a jury member to go, yeah, I'm going to pop that into my top 5 type songs. Maybe they're a little bit risk averse. There were safer options. I love the song personally. I think it would have been a great Eurovision performance, but I don't know.
I don't think Europe going for this. They don't go for this stuff. They just don't. It's great. I think jury love potentially, but maybe an 8th or 9th of the jury. And then I just think a 13th with the televote. That was my feel on it. But hey, we disagree. And you all said yes. So fair enough. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Estonia. Let's start off with thumbs up, thumbs down. Qualifying.
Oh.
What do you say? I can't see you, Flo. What are you saying? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Why do you think it's not getting through?
Because there are at least 16 better songs in this semi. Simple as that. I do prefer it to his song for East Lau last year, but I don't think there's anything overly memorable about this. Yeah, you've got Austria, you've got Czech Republic. I think those 2 songs are better than this, to be honest. I think.
Right, Jade, stick the knife in. Why else will Uku fail?
Oh my God, this song has no redeeming qualities.
That's it.
Like, it's not memorable at all. Like, the lyrics are pretty bad. Last 41st.
I'm going to come into bat a little bit for this because I see this in the same kind of ilk of last year. But last year was a nice upbeat, fun song, while this is this kind of like really dated ballad. But don't forget about a decent looking guy. If you could get that vocal right, which is questionable, and some decent staging, then I don't think it was completely out of it. I have said no, but I still think it had a bit of a chance.
Sorry, this song had nowhere to go.
Nowhere.
Really lifted vocally, and he couldn't really put on a stage show that's got a wow. It just had nowhere to go.
And Laura, I know you love Estonia. How do you feel about this being their entry this year, and how?
I love Estonia, but I think they had better entries in SDLL this year even, and I don't think it stands a chance for the reasons they said before. I know there are people who are attracted to Ben who think he's really handsome and he might get a few votes there, but I don't really see the song sticking that much in people's minds at the end of the day.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, let's move on to Greece. Greece, let's go. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's going through.
Let's see, yes from Flo. We got a down from Ruby. Down, Ruby. Why is Greece not going to get through?
I think it's honestly that she's too junior Eurovision in this case. Like, the song's not bad. It's fine. Like, the lyrics, they are what they are. But she's too young to, not to qualify, because obviously there's been younger, but like, it's just too young, the song, is what I'm saying. And like, I don't think it has that mass market appeal that would get the votes on the semi-final at all.
What about you, Liv? What do you think?
I just sensed like you know when there's a space in a song and you're like, they're leaving that area really ambiguous because they're going to do something there and put interesting staging in. I got that vibe. I'm like, I feel like there's going to be a moment, and also it's kind of harking back to old Greece, which is what I really like at Eurovision. So I'm just like, it's a step in the right direction. I think televoters will reward them for that.
Yeah, what do you think?
Maybe if they had a cat swinging on a pole and she rescued it at the end. Really, no. Like, kind of, for me, it's a bit in the Xena pocket from last year.
She qualified.
Yeah, and it felt a little young, but at the same token, she had the chops to pull it off. I kind of think Stefania and Greece may have had enough on this one to pull it off.
I kind of agree with Liv around the harking back, and I think televoters would have rewarded that a little bit. Maybe not massively. It was 50-50, but it was my borderline, and I just put it through.
Yeah.
All right, so pretty positive on Greece. Ruby, no. All right, let's go to Moldova. Okay.
Oh.
Let's start with thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it going through?
That's going through. I think it's going through.
So Fleur, did you say it's going through?
I think it's going to be either Moldova or Poland. That's what I put it down to.
How come?
And I think this is the better song than the Polish song. I think this has more going for it look who wrote it. That's going through.
Right, Liv, I know this is very special to you. Please, under half an hour, tell us why Moldova is qualifying.
I mean, she's got the dream team, for one. And they always know how to throw the kitchen sink in just the right way. Just knocks you out enough that you love it. And there's a market for that dated stuff. And I love that it's just, it's got like a time change in there. It's something, I don't know, there's like a little dotter kind of glove mitt thing. I think they could really work with something like that. I just see them bringing together something that probably would have stood out. And for people who like that dated style stuff would have just jumped on it like myself.
I love the song as well, personally. I got a find vibes like last year from Moldova. It's dated kind of song, very good singer, but just not enough to really push it over the line, I don't think.
Look, I think it could have elevated it. I mean, it would have. It would have been. It
Staging.
would have brought it staging-wise, definitely. I still just had. I would have to be. It'd have to be like the staging glow up of My Lucky Day for me to get through, to have that both appeal. Laura, why wouldn't it got through?
I do not underestimate the Dream Team's ability to throw the whole kitchen sink at this. The thing is, there are 3 Dream Team songs in this semi. I reckon, well, at least one of them will go through. I was inclined to go towards the Greece end of things. But at the end, I think it's just down to execution, and I don't think it was executed in quite the way that I think would have best showcased this particular kind of song.
Okay, fair enough. Well, pretty mixed. Oh, it's not mixed. Everyone's saying it's not qualifying other than Liv. Maybe Fleur as well, maybe. Talking of which, Poland, Fleur, you've gone into a bat a little bit for Poland here. Why will it possibly get through?
I don't think this would get through. I don't. I know. I did watch. I know. That's what I said. I think Moldova would have cornered that market with the dated type songs.
Okay, but what was good about? I mean, you're still saying you wouldn't have qualified, but you must be kind of semi there for you to consider it, though.
Yeah. It's not a bad song, but yeah, I'd have to see how it goes live. I was like the poor soul that actually watched that national final. I mean, you can't judge a staging. You just can't judge anything on that because it's a karaoke competition, let's be honest. But so I don't know how she would have gone live. I don't think we've seen enough of her. We've seen Natalia, but jury's out on Alicia. I'm not saying, look, it would have been borderline, if anything.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't without a shot, I guess. Was everyone else thumbs down? Because I was definitely thumbs down. Is that a thumbs up? Laura, what? Tell me.
I think it would have just scraped through. I think it would have at least, well, obviously this is relying on Alicia delivering a really, really solid vocal. She can do that. She did win The Voice. She's only 17. I think she's uber talented, and people are going to respect that no matter what.
Yeah.
And also, don't underestimate the Polish diaspora. The UK were voting in this semi-final. So maybe it would have received a lot of points from them.
True. Might have been just enough to get over the line. Look, it wasn't completely without a shot, but I'm still saying thumbs down. All right, San Marino. Thumbs down for me. Anyone? Jade, why is this not getting through?
Do you know what? It was actually a borderline for me. I put it 11th, and let me hear me out. Hear me out. If you've watched the Eurovision home concerts recently, you can tell that San Marino actually threw a budget at her, and they put on a really good home concert. And I think that I just feel like they would have shown something on stage that would have maybe pushed them over the edge in the end. They had really good ideas with graphics and things like that. She's actually a really good vocalist. So I have her borderline not qualifying in the end. I just think she would have ended up missing out on all of the other places due to like wow factor of other things. But close.
And Ruby, you had it as a thumbs down?
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, but like, why for televote and jury though?
But not qualifying overall. Like, San Marino struggles the best of times. They somehow got it last year, and I just can't see them replicating that with another disco entry at all. And this song is not the song to qualify for San Marino.
No. You needed a bit of it was a whole cult thing going on last year, momentum with it. Yeah. And but it's a good point, Jay. Like, I mean, it wasn't the worst funky song out there, but it just felt a bit dated, and it just didn't have any wow factor, I don't think. All right, let's scrape around San Marino. Albania. All right, are we saying yes or no? I'm saying no. Got a yes?
Yeah,
yes. All right.
Yeah,
Liv,
I had it as a yes.
Liv, why isn't it qualifying?
That's a good question. It's very kind of, it's just there. Look, I know she can do a really good live performance, but I mean, we just know going back in time that these type of songs for Albania need to have that oomph to actually make it to the final. There's a lot that are kind of similar like this and they get lost, and there's just a lot of really great female vocalists in this final in particular. So I'm just like, I feel like she's going to be having too much competition, and since it's lost like that special ethnic language side of things that sort of set it apart. Nah.
Who was a yes again? Was Ruby? You're a yes, weren't you?
Yeah.
Why is it going through?
So I really loved the original version. This obviously dropped down because it's not. It missed so many parts that were so good in the original one, but it's still up there. And like Albania, struggles a bit to get through, but I feel like the staging that she was bringing in, obviously we never saw a music video, but the ideas that she was posting mostly on social media were quite intriguing. I mean, who knows? But I do think this would have just snuck through as like the 10th.
I mean, she can sing. I think the English thing was a bit of concern for me because I felt it lost impact, which I think was never a good thing. It kind of reminded me of 2016 Albania. And Albania hasn't qualified with an English song since 2010, I want to say. It's All About You, which is a bop. But I just feel like this, it has to be really good from Albania in English to get through. And I just feel like this was, as Liv says, there. It's good. It's not great. And it just didn't stand out, I don't think. But not without a shot. All right, Armenia. Have we got a thumbs up or thumbs down?
I love it.
Oh my God, do we all like it? Yes!
I
love this song.
Okay, Fleur, I know you love this song, but why can it actually qualify? What's the reason to qualify that?
I think the staging would have been out of this world. She's got charisma. I'll give you. She's not the greatest singer, but she's got something. And
Laura,
she's got a great background, so she's going to get their votes.
It's true. Laura,
it's Greek.
I reckon, I know Jade was saying, or Liv was saying before about the songs leaving gaps for them to do something with the staging. Well, the revamp of this song came out and they left a strategic gap in the bridge, a little break there. And I'm just like, yes, this is it. They're going to have a huge moment here. She's got straight stage presence. They're going to put on an excellent stage show. I think that's going to wow the public. And that's why I think that'll get through.
Big thumbs up. What about you, Jade? Fan?
I cannot talk about how big of a fan I am of this song. And
I could tell you were not.
And I think that the revamp did it so many favors. I mean, I liked it from the get-go, but the revamp just made it more appealing to the public ear, as well as that gap, as Laura was saying, that was absolutely going to be a dance break. And you see it in the music video. They've got production. They knew what they were doing. They've got a concept. I really struggled because it was on the back end, but I think it would have gone through. Yeah.
I don't think it was a surefire thing, but I think it would have got through. All right, well, let's move on. We're all agree there. I love it. Finland.
No.
Ooh, are we thumbs up? I'm like thumbs down. Sadly, thumbs down. What about you, Fleur? What do you think about this?
Oh, I had it. Oh, no, I think this one is dead in the water.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, this is probably going to come last or second last at least.
Okay, all right. I probably don't share that, but anyone else? Ruby, what do you think about this song?
I really like it when I'm listening to it, and then I forget it, and that's not going to do it any favors in a semi-final.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it might have some jury appeal. I think the song to a point.
Absolutely. I think the televote appeal is basically nothing compared to everything else it's there. It's one note for a lot of it, and it's lovely, but it's a car trip song.
Yeah. I could see something like a 13th or 14th type of thing, which would not be enough to get through. But it's not a bad song by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not really a competition song or a memorable song.
Yeah. It's probably like 8th, 9th in the jury, to me, 16th in the televote. I think the televote just would have just not been there for this.
Killed it.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a nice song. All right. Almost at the end. Georgia. Interesting one, Georgia. I'm going to say just the thumbs down. Any thumbs up? Any wavering ones?
No.
I'll say why I think it's wavering. I think it has some televote appeal. And look, they staged very well, Georgia. Look what they did last year with that dog of a song. And they managed to actually make it really good. And I feel that this one has more. It has more to hang on to, this song. I feel like it has more generic appeal. And if it can do something, I'm not saying it's going to qualify, but I think it has some. I think it would have only just missed out, to be honest. Or does everyone completely disagree?
Yeah, like
I
whenever I think back, I'm just like, there's always that one song that evades me that I really hated, but like maybe as a European market, they get it, but I just don't. And I could very easily imagine this being that song that I just completely ignored, discounted, whatever. And then it gets to Europe and people are like, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. It's always a blind spot for some songs, isn't it? Like you sometimes get clouded by how much you hate it. And I'm not a fan of this song, but I can see something with it.
But I'm going to completely disagree with your point that this has more to work with than last year. Last year had emotion and had almost like a dramatic thing you could do staging to. What are you going to stage with this? Really? No. The angry man yelling into microphone, no.
Does anyone else have any strong feelings about Georgia?
I love this. It's so good at the same time, but it was never going to qualify. And like, I watched the TV show when they announced it, and they were talking about the staging plans for it, of course. And they were like, it was going to be very dramatic, for the dramatic song. I didn't see where it was going to go with the staging at all when they were talking about it. I was excited because who knew it was going to happen with Georgia, but I love it. It's so bad.
Fair enough.
Guilty pleasure.
Right. I have a feeling we might agree on the last one. Portugal. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah. Did it have any shot?
I don't think so.
I love it, but I think in the end it just misses out with the countries that, like we talked about qualifying. You just know that they're going to bring something to the stage, and the song is special, but I just don't think it would have brought the other half of it. It would have been missing something in the end, and I think that's what would have let Portugal down.
Fleur, you watched a lot of the national final in Portugal. What are your thoughts?
I think it was one of the better ones at Festival of Cancer. There weren't many awful ones, to be honest, but I just think in this realm, it hasn't got a shot. Portugal just do Portugal. They don't care. Unfortunately, I don't think so.
No, fair enough. I feel like if Ojardin couldn't really muster up a great vote, that is better than this, in my opinion. And so this is dead on arrival. It's very nice, but it's just dead. It's gone. Yeah.
It's nice when I'm listening to it, but again, like, once it's over, I just forget about it. I'm just like, how does this go again? And that's not good.
All right. So just as we finish off here, I want to think about, like, who do you think probably thinking back to automatic qualifiers like the Iceland, Switzerland, Bulgaria's, etc. Who would have won the semi? Fleur.
Oh, Switzerland.
All right, fair enough. Ruby.
Iceland.
Nice, nice. Laura, who would have won the semi?
Iceland.
2 Icelands, 1 Switzerland. Jade, who would have won the semi-final?
I'm pretty certain it would have been Iceland too.
All right, okay, we're all pretty much on Iceland. Liv, you an Iceland person too?
Iceland.
Resigned to the
I
fact.
want Switzerland, but I think it would have been Iceland.
Interesting. Look, I have to say Iceland as well. I guess Bulgaria could have won the jury on this one, I think, potentially. Switzerland maybe, depending on how that performance. I've still got such a question mark about that. But I think Iceland would have won it.
I'll agree. Iceland for the win on that one.
All across the board. All right, well, thank you so much for all joining us. We had some differing opinions there, I think a little in the middle. But thanks everyone from Aussie Vision team. And we'll be talking about the grand final again quite soon, about our predictions about who will win, top 10s, who'll come last, probably a big 5. Anyway, let's wait and see. Thanks very much. See you later. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.